1-year review with the FrontRunner Rooftop Tent. I'm gonna very quickly go through what I mentioned as far as pros and cons from having used it a couple times, and then I'm gonna say, you know, what's different now that I've been using it for a year and whether or not I still recommend that you get one. Stepped a little bit away from the campsite just to get a little bit more privacy. Like I said, I'm gonna go through what I mentioned before, right as I got the rooftop tent. I recommend you watch the video because I talk a little bit about the Thule setup that I have as well. But as far as pros, the pad mattress is pretty good. The ventilation points are great. Security and privacy, so being up above, you know, offers a little bit more of that. Fits 2.5 people comfortably. Looks legit. That was something that I joked about in the first one. And then the price and weight. It's good quality, and it's one of the cheapest and lightest on the market. I think at 94 pounds. Some of the ones that are hard shell, I think, go up to even 200 pounds plus. On the cons, repack it up. Yeah, so anytime you need to move the car or anything, right, you can't drive with it open, so you got to repack it all up. Leveling, you got to be careful where you camp. If it's somewhere really slanted, you're gonna have a rough night. I felt like the zippers were a little on the lighter side. I was worried about them ripping or breaking. By year in, I haven't had any issues, but they still feel a little frail, so I don't know, maybe that's just the type of material. Floor damage is what I mentioned, the part that doesn't have the pad mattress, really easy to dent, and you can see it underneath. And then I also talked about the base and the Thule bars and some of the kind of DIY setup that I had to create. So now 1 year in, what's changed? Everything's pretty much the same, except I do feel like it's heated pretty well in there. I saw some videos, I did some research and saw other folks complaining about how it's horrible for winter. I mean, I am in San Diego, California. It was about 32 degrees last night. Blankets, and we use sleeping bags and stuff. The heat is pretty well trapped. And one of the key differences that I saw from the one that I have to what I've seen in some of the older videos for the FrontRunner Rooftop Tent is that they seem to have fixed the ventilation issues. Some of the old videos that I've seen at the very top of the tent, that was just open. And I remember watching somebody who was like, this is, you know, all the heat escapes through there. You still need to unzip some pieces to make sure you don't get that condensation inside. But with the version that I purchased, I don't know when they upgraded or fixed this, whatever it is, it's a full-blown zipper. I don't feel like heat escapes, and the two and a half of us in there, actually pretty nice. All right, and on the cons, tucking the canvas, still a bit of a pain in the ass, honestly. This is one of those things where it's like, if you're going on a long trip, you want to set up camp and then leave, come back and all that stuff, the rooftop may not be the right one. It gets easier, but it's still a pain to like tuck everything back in. With the wind, oh man, so when we camped in Anza Borrego, the part that opens on the ladder, right? If it's windy, that could fly over. You could ruin your tent. We had a close call, and again, I've seen some videos of folks talking about that. So we actually had to tie down the ladder to a 5-gallon water jug that we have, and that solved the problem. But be really careful with how strong the wind is, because it will blow the tent over and you could really damage it. Peeing in the ladder, yeah, sometimes in the middle of the night, I would recommend that you kind of watch your water intake, because coming down that ladder in the middle of the night is sometimes a bit difficult. Last couple cons here, buy a small shovel. Yeah, some places you want to kind of shovel a little bit just to help level out the car. Leveling is a big thing with these rooftop tents, so something to keep in mind. And then just know that the front of the rooftop tent as you drive with it is a professional bug killer. It gets absolutely disgusting. Would just recommend, you know, you wipe it down and stuff after every use, but my goodness, it is amazing how many bugs you kill with the front of that thing. So those are still the cons. All right, let's head back, because I want to show you guys how I keep the canvas as a recommendation for how you can do it as well. So here's what I mean. You keep the canvas zipper on there. That way when you put this down, you just have to throw the canvas over and then continue zipping it. Because first few times that I did it, I would take this completely off, and then it's a pain to figure out like where to put it. Just leave it on the back. It's pretty convenient. So final verdict, yes, I continue to recommend rooftop tents. This is really, really nice. I love having the pad. Pad is a bit in the pro and con, because at this point I think I got to buy something, small little thing to put underneath it just to kind of give it a boost, if you will. But I love having the pad. The three of us fit in there really, really nice. You saw the space for the battery, water, we have a heating blanket. Like, it's just the setup of it is really, really nice. Whether or not you should get one is really just dependent on you. What does your camping nearby look like? Is it all, because for us, a lot of it's really flat, which is nice. But if, you know, we've been to places like in Joshua Tree where things are really slanted, it's not as easy. Are you somebody that likes to wake up, family in the tent, go out, shoot the sunrise, or make food, coffee, stuff like that? Because again, that's something you got to think about with the rooftop tent. Open, you cannot drive it. You cannot drive the car. You're going to wreck it. So evaluate, but as a recommendation, love the tent, love the setup. I'm happy to continue to use it, especially 1 year in. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer them down below.